You are Locked On Syracuse, your daily podcast on the Syracuse Orange, part of the Locked On Podcast Network. Your team every day.
Welcome, everyone, in the Locked On Syracuse podcast. I'm Jackson Holzer, and I'm fired up for this one because we got senior national recruiting analyst on On3, Jamie Shaw, joining us to talk about all the latest with Syracuse basketball, Donnie Freeman, Elijah Moore, plus the transfer portal, what he's hearing, who Syracuse is going after. Jamie, thanks so much for taking the time. We'll start with Donnie Freeman here. What were your expectations of Donnie heading into the McDonald's All-American game?
Well, coming into the game, Donnie had a huge year this year. He transferred down from the DMV area at St. John's College down to IMG Academy in Florida. He played on the national EYBL scholastic circuit, and he had a big year this year. He's kind of a guy that's always had the flashes. You could see the upside of what the trajectory could be. But this year, the pieces started coming together. And our last update we had in the 2024 class, we moved him to number 10 overall, moved him into 5-star status. So I had expectations coming into the McDonald's game of him to see what he would look like, and he lived up to them. He is the archetype of what the highest levels of basketball kind of looking for right now, the combo forward, rangy, good length, positional size, versatile defender, and can knock down shots. And he showed all of that at the McDonald's All-American game. I had quite a few NBA scouts that I was talking to about him that walked away very impressed. They might not have known him previously coming in, but the majority of them walking away had his name on their lists.
And what surprised you and what didn't surprise you about Donnie? I know there was a lot of talk maybe about his size and how he kind of lived up to that.
Yeah, no, I had seen Donnie quite a few times this season, most recently a couple weeks ago at an event with IMG. So I had a pretty good familiarity with Donnie. What it is with the McDonald's game is coming in to see how these guys all do in the new environment. They're not used to being teammates with these guys. They're not used to going up against, the practices were at 8:30 in the morning Central Time, and it was it was a closed gym, but select media people were there, and then every NBA team was there. So you're competing against people that you're kind of unfamiliar with, and it's always interesting to see how the guys react to that. Donnie came in and he did his thing. He's not going to wow you with that ball handling. He's not going to do any of that, but he's going to make winning type plays. He's going to make shots. He's going to get deflections on the defensive end, be able to push the break a little bit and play an efficient game of basketball. He showed throughout the course of the entire week. It's more than just a game at McDonald's. They have multiple practices and scrimmages and stuff. He showed throughout the week, that he is that.
I was once trying to buy a last-minute ticket for a New York Mets game last year, and it was frustrating. I couldn't see the view from my seat, and the deals weren't that good at all. That's why I now use Gametime. Gametime is now an authorized ticket marketplace of Major League Baseball, which makes getting tickets even faster and easier. Prices on the Gametime app actually go down the closer it gets to first pitch. One game that I'm thinking about attending is Mets-Marlins down in Miami on May 19th, and I can get in for as little as $5. I just went to the Gametime app, searched up Mets tickets, and the deal popped up right away. You can do the same with any team of your choosing, and that includes the Syracuse Mets. That's right. It is so easy to find. Syracuse is at home on Wednesday, April 11th, and you can get in for $4. You get a panoramic view from your seat in the app before you buy. Take the guesswork out of buying tickets with Gametime. Download the Gametime app, create an account, and use code LOCKEDONCollege for $20 off your first purchase. Terms apply. Again, create an account and redeem code LOCKEDONCollege, LOCKEDONCOLLEGE for $20 off. Download the Gametime app today. Last minute tickets, lowest price, guaranteed. Yeah, and one thing about Donnie, I kind of read about him and how he can shoot the basketball as a projected power forward. And in the McDonald's game on ESPN, he hits 2 3-pointers, including one at the end of the third quarter on a buzzer beater. So was definitely impressed by him. You've kind of alluded to this, Jamie, but what are some of Donnie's biggest strengths?
Well, he's got a versatile game. He has power forward size, but kind of moves like a small forward. So, he's kind of a tweener in that way. He can really shoot the ball, but he can also play from the elbows and then in the mid post. He's got a little bit of a low post game to him as well, but he's better facing up, kind of in the mid post, high post type areas, and shooting threes facing the floor. Defensively, he's versatile. He can guard up and down a lineup. He can move his feet and slide with perimeter based forwards, and he can act as a weak side shot blocker and get deflections in the passing lanes and do all that when he moves down to guard more post based forwards.
And how can you see Donnie improving?
Just continuing to work on the overall game. His game right now is very efficient. There's not much, there's not a lot of excess fat to it. It's pretty trimmed down and it's pretty efficient as it is. As he continues to learn his spots on the floor, as he continues to get stronger, especially in his base and core, as he continues to get the footwork down and to find our nuances of the game. It's just gamesmanship. It's just continue to play games and get better with what he's already doing.
Jamie, you've obviously been on the recruiting trail for quite some time. Who does Donnie remind you of the most?
Well, talking with people this past week, a couple of names that came up, Taylor Hendricks with the Utah Jazz. The archetype Noah Clowney was another archetype that came up this past week. Not saying that he's carving copies of those guys. It's not one-for-one type stuff, but those are the type of archetypes, type of lineages. Noah Clowney, I think, Brooklyn Nets played at Alabama. Taylor Hendricks played at UCF, is at Utah now. Are a couple guys whose names came up in archetype similarities for Donnie.
And what is Donnie's potential? Obviously, he's a 5-star recruit. What's his ceiling?
Well, looking at On3, we rank our players directly based toward the NBA draft. So to have a guy as a top 10 as a 5-star, we project him to be drafted into the NBA. So I think the ceiling starts there. I guess you can say the floor starts there and the ceiling rises with where it could go. I mean, he's got a great frame, good body, a lot to grow into as well. But I think more so than the ceiling, the floor with him, I think projecting toward with continued growth and development as an NBA type of player.
And how does, for next season with Syracuse, how do you think he projects? Can he start right away, or do you think he's going to need a little bit of seasoning?
Well, it's hard to sit there and tell right now because you don't know what the roster is going to look like. You don't know who's going to be there, who's going to stay, who's going to go, and all that type of stuff. We still have, 14 days into the transfer portal right now, so we still have a couple more weeks left. But as the roster gets set, he has all the talent in the world to be able to step in and play a role. He's got all the talent in the world to be able to come in, space the floor, rebound, defend, and do a lot of the things that Red wants to do with the team, and play the tempo that he wants to play at as well. Donnie kind of fits the mold of the forward that Red likes, that Red's been searching for and employed in the system.
Did you know that even if you have a 401k for retirement, you can still have an IRA? Robinhood has the only IRA that gives you a 3% boost on every dollar you contribute when you subscribe to Robinhood Gold. But get this, now through April 30th, Robinhood is even boosting every single dollar you transfer in from other retirement accounts with a 3% match. That's right, no cap on the 3% match. Robinhood Gold gets you the most for your retirement thanks to their IRA with a 3% match. This offer is good through April 30th. Get started at Robinhood.com/boost. Subscription fees apply. And now for some legal info. Claim as of Q1 2024, validated by Radius Global Market Research. Investing involves risk, including loss. Limitations apply to IRAs and 401ks. 3% match requires Robinhood Gold for 1 year from the date of first 3% match. Must keep Robinhood IRA for 5 years. The 3% matching on transfers is subject to specific terms and conditions. Robinhood IRA available to U.S. customers in good standing. Robinhood Financial LLC, member SIPC, is a registered broker-dealer. Thank you for watching this edition of Segment of the Week. To catch the podcast this segment came from, click here. To subscribe to the channel, click here. Enjoy the rest of your weekend, everyone.